What is gravitas? That was the question that I decided to answer when I chose to write the book, Leading with Gravitas. So what I did when I decided to decode gravitas is I went out and conducted research with leaders globally, leaders in the public eye, leaders of community groups, leaders within organizations, to look at what are the qualities that those leaders share. What I realized is that although there are as many versions of gravitas as there are people in the world, leaders with gravitas do share a number of key characteristics. On that basis, I created the Gravitas framework, which is encapsulated in my book, Leading with Gravitas, and which underpins my leadership development programs and the masterclasses that I run. So Gravitas is broken down into 6 component parts. We have 3 internal qualities and 3 external qualities. So the internal qualities are your self-awareness. How self-aware are you of your strengths? How will you be able to ensure that your strengths are communicated so that people truly appreciate the value that you bring? Self-awareness. Then we have expertise. Expertise is the evidence that people use to rate you. And so this isn't only about the expertise that you have, but it's your ability to express it, crucially, because you could be the most incredible subject matter expert in the world, but unless people know about it, unless people hear you communicating about it, that expertise won't have the power that it deserves. Finally, on the internal components of gravitas, we have authenticity. And authenticity, of course, is about being yourself, because we trust leaders who are themselves. We trust leaders who are genuine. We want to work with them. We want to be led by them. We want to follow them. Now we move on to the external components of gravitas, which are presence, connection, and projection. Now, presence, again, like gravitas, is quite an intangible concept. How do we decode presence? But the thing is, we know when someone has presence because we notice them. And of course, we don't notice someone who doesn't have presence because we don't notice them. So how do you, as a leader, tap into your own presence? What I encourage the leaders who come on my masterclasses to do is to imagine that they've got a dial in their belly and they can choose which place they set the dial at. So it may be that there are some situations where actually it's going to be more appropriate for the leader to have a low presence, to have a low flame, to set the dial low, so that they can allow other people to shine and get the visibility that they need. But then there's other times where you're going to want to increase your presence, increase your visibility, and really turn up the dial so that you're really beaming out your presence and you're creating the impact that you deserve in the spaces that you need to.